Today I'm going to show you how to install a set of inlet pipes as well as diverter valves on a 991.2 Porsche Carrera generation. Aside from looking super cool, the upgraded inlet pipes provide better airflow into the engine, and apparently they sound a lot better. The upgraded diverter valves help if you are experiencing boost leaks. In my case, above 5,000 RPM at full throttle, it felt like the car was hesitating. Apparently, OEM diverter valves deteriorate over time and they release pressure, so these will help with maintaining that constant boost. You can easily do this job with a simple jack. However, in my case, for the simplicity of this video, I put it on a set of quick jacks and I supported it with a transmission mount in the back to prevent this rear engine car from swaying front and back. Let's get started by removing the rear bumper cover to gain access to everything that's underneath. Put the car in accessory mode and raise the rear spoiler. Pop the front and rear engine cover to disconnect the negative battery terminal. Next, under the bumper, you've got 7 T27s to undo. If you have TLG guards, and you should because they really protect the side of the car, just look at the front ones, how discreet they are, but they help with keeping this area and this area clean. You might want to remove them. And of course the same thing on the other side. Then in the wheel well cavity, you want to remove a T25. And the same thing on the other side. And this gives you access to a hidden upside down T27. And obviously the same on the other side. Then under this plastic cover, you have 1 and 2 hidden T27s. And obviously the same on the other side. Next, we want to remove these plastics to get to these plastics, which will then expose additional screws. So to remove this, there's this plastic trim piece that you remove, and then you simply unclip the cover. And once you do it, it simply removes. Then you unscrew both the coolant filler cap as well as the oil filler cap, because this will allow you to remove this cover. Put the caps back on. And the same thing with this side. Removing these plastics reveals these 2 T25 screws, 2 on each side. To get to them, you need an angled screwdriver. This is the one that I'm using. I'm going to list it in the video description. So simply unscrew it. They are pretty long screws. And the same thing on the other side. Up top, this assembly continues by removing these 2 fans. Start by unplugging the plug, then use a pry tool to remove the cable from its mounting location. And now the fan simply pops off. Once again on the other side. Press, release, take it out, and simply pull it up towards you, and it's out. While here, these clips are mounted to this plastic intake. Use your tool to remove them from this mounting location. Same thing on the other side. And now you can simply move this line out of the way. Now you will be dislodging the back cover opening line. Don't worry, just set it aside. I will show you on the way back how to put it back together. Next, the spoiler is held on each side using these 2 T45 screws and 2 on this side. Before you go yanking the spoiler assembly out, you have to undo this wiring harness. You press on this button. And now on the other side, you want to loosen up the 10mm screw holding the filler assembly in place because it is clipped in to the actual spoiler assembly. To move it out of the way, you have to loosen up the coolant cap, twist it here, move it out of the way, then put the coolant cap back on. We're nearly there. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 T25s to remove here. Now that the spoiler assembly is loose, you can massage the headlights out of their resting areas. There's the usual button, hold it and pull. And the same thing on the other side. You want to push it down so it slides out and unclip it. The fun continues where in each headlight cavity, you want to remove this clip. Press it down and pull it out. On the other side, it's a bit more complicated because you have 2 plugs. The first one, just like on the other side, you simply click it and it slides out. This one now is held using this little gate. So you want to dislodge that gate. You slide it out of the gate, squeeze here, slide out the plug from its mounting location, and you set it aside. Under the taillight, you have a T30 that's holding the bumper to the body. There's one on each side. And now that you removed 15,000 screws, it's time to remove the bumper cover. Now, my car is fully PPF'd, but if yours is not, you might want to put some protective tape here in case it pops up and it hits the body of the car. Again, in my case, I'm not doing it because it is protected. So you want to start by prying the sides. See how easy it was? Pry the side again here. Make sure all your clearances are good. And it's as simple as that. It is so simple. And once your bumper cover is fully removed, you can remove the spoiler assembly. So this is our stock piping. The diverter valves are located in there. So obviously we have to get to it, starting with removing these plastics. As easy as it gets. Time to take a break. See you in a little bit. And we're back. It's been actually 24 hours. I ended up doing one side off camera because right and left are exactly the same. So this is what you're going to expect when you complete the inlet pipes as well as the diverter valves. I also took the opportunity to clean this area. I know, I'm crazy like that. No one ever sees this, but it bothers me when it's dirty. But enough of me yapping, let's get to it. Start by disconnecting the pipes that are going through the intercooler. So you loosen it up top. Same thing with this one. This is good because we should have disconnected this vacuum line. It simply just unplugs. See, I marked it down here the last time I disconnected it. So when you plug it in, you push it all the way. This time you just disconnect it like this, and this does it from the top. Then you gotta go into the wheel well and remove this plastic. It's all T25. Now you're gonna loosen up this clamp, and the one down here using an E10. You push it out and it pops out. Also stick a very clean towel in there just in case. Next we have to remove this whole assembly. You've got a couple of T25s and this comes off. Then under here you've got 10 mils. Another 10 mil in there. There's a T27 in there. It's between the two pipes. Underneath here you have two 25s holding the heat shield. Then there's this one holding the exhaust heat shield. Then you've got to remove the blind spot sensor using T25, 1, 2, and 3 screws. If your car is not equipped with one, you will obviously skip this step. You should be able to slide it out, squeeze this little guy, and then you have a clip in the back. You squeeze on both sides, wiggle it out, and snake the cable back up. Then you go back to the wheel well, you have 2 additional 10mm nuts. And now everything goes well. The line is disconnected. The whole assembly should pop off, including popping off this turbo pipe here. There we go. See, I just pulled it and it came off the piping quite easily. And now this whole piece is off. This is what it looks like with all the piping removed. And now we get to disassembling this box.
I had a small audio issue here, but essentially you want to remove the piping from the cage, which means disconnecting everything, starting with the diverter valve. It is held using these clamps, which you need a special tool for to slide the clamps down, and then simply you can pull the hoses down. Then you have to undo some clips holding the actual inlet pipe, and then you can wiggle the whole thing out of its assembly. Now we have to move the diverter valve onto this pipe, but it needs the rubber seat, so you have to transfer the rubber seat, which means removing the clamps, transferring the seat, and then inserting the new diverter valve. Then use a screwdriver to pop off the vacuum line, reinstall it in the diverter valve, and then reinstall or reuse the piping that you removed from the original line. Then you can refit the piping, but you notice that it's a tight fit, which means you have to trim that edge. Use a marker to mark the trim area, and then use a Dremel to gently cut it out.
Before we slide the pipe in, yeah. I know I'm crazy, but I really want to wipe it. Much better. Now, let's get to it because we're nearly there. It's time that we slide this bad boy in. Put the cooler piping in. Slide this clamp. Perfect. And then you slide this vacuum line here. And let's get it installed up there. By the way, the kit comes with two clamps. One sort of this crooked one, it's directional, so one is left, one is right. And the second one is this reducer, which you put on this turbo pipe here. See if I can, there you go. Put the clamp first, put this on, position it here, figure out what you want the clamp to be. It looks like I can actually tighten it up top, right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it here. And we can slide it in place. Well, I'm gonna try to show it as best as possible. It might be hard to see, or maybe it's self-explanatory, but you basically raise it up, try to match the piping. That's right there, this is where your coupler is gonna go. And see if you can start positioning onto some of the screws. Make sure you don't have clearance issues. I say pick your favorite 10 mil and just tighten it a little bit so nothing slides out. You're nearly there. Put the piping back on the turbo. It's in. Let's tighten it. Then we're going to do this pipe last, because this pipe to me is very fragile. I'm going to be replacing it with the same pipe. It was just too expensive at this point. Maybe the prices will come down, maybe I'll get it on sale, but this will be replaced eventually. But we're going to do this last. We're going to go upstairs or up there and adjust it, because you see, I don't want to move it up here and unnecessarily stress this pipe. So let's go to the other side, because here you've got to reconnect the upper pipe and then the lower pipe. I feel like I'm not giving you a good angle. So again, you see, flat, flat. Let's put this on the intake pipe first, or rather on the filter first. So now we know it's sitting flatly. Let's put this piece in here. Yeah. Push it in place. Now, here you know where it's sitting. See, it's sitting on the actual filter. Here, you'll know where it's sitting because you feel it. So I feel it all the way. I feel it all the way up here, which means it should be easy for me to put my clamp, position it somewhere over here. And then the same thing on this side. Forgot to tighten this one. And last but not least, let's connect the vacuum tubes and give it a lick. And to hold it in place, here we're going to put a zip tie. Now the last step is to connect this coupler onto the pipe and then back onto the turbo. There's no way for me to physically be able to film it given where the car is, so it's super simple. Slide it onto the tube and then slide it here. That's it. And if you fast forward just a bit, everything is fully connected. Pipes, you've got the reducer here. The V-band is sitting on the turbo. On this side, same thing. And again, this is how much we cut. You need some clearance to at least be able to slide the vacuum tube. We can now start tightening everything, but first, let's clean some of the components here and there. This was clipped here. Slide it in place. Now all the 10 mils will go in. The two in the back. Then the T27 in there, in between the two pipes. Then this plastic. And then the exhaust heat shield. And that's it. When it comes to installing the inlet pipes and the diverter valves, one last thing to do is, there you go, matching, shiny TLG stickers. Again, no one's gonna see it, but it'll make me happy. And it's a couple of days later. I put everything back together. Let me show you quickly what this stuff looks like. See how nice and clean it is? New TLG sticker right there. But the piping, I ended up using a couple of zip ties here just to keep things nicely organized. The cutouts here, you have plenty of clearances, and then the same thing on the other side. This one is still holding. I use zip ties, and again, plenty of clearances. You cannot really see the diverter valves, but they are in there. Next step is for me to start putting it back together, but before I do that, I might as well use this opportunity to do an oil change. I already did a video on this, so I'm not going to show you how to do it, but I need to get the car up to temperature, which means I need to start it. So let's see if the car starts without all of this stuff put together, and let's see if are there any unusual noises. I've never done that before. And if there are error messages, we will clear them because we do have the scan tool. You ready? A bunch of error messages, that's for sure. Check rear light. It's so funny seeing the engine from this side. Nothing's moving here, obviously, so not very interesting. The good news is everything sounds good. We're gonna do an oil change and we'll see you after that. It is so much easier to do an oil change with all that stuff out of the way. But all that stuff is now behind us. Drained the fluid, used the new plug, refilled it. I used the spill-proof funnel. I highly suggest you get it. While the fluid was draining, I also installed front summer wheels. I also tested the brake fluid for moisture and it came out perfect. So now we can start putting it all back together. Even professionals make mistakes. Put on the wing first, and then you put on the bumper cover. I did it the other way, and then I had to loosen up the bumper to make room for the spoiler. But before we continue with that cool music, I promised I would show you how to attach this link, because this used to worry me, but it's as simple as you see. It's just dangling here. You just put it in here, clip it in place, and it's as easy as that. We are almost done. I'm going to conclude this video right now because I kind of have to go back in time because I forgot to install this part. Now this part is located under the bumper, so I am gonna have to remove the whole thing again. Luckily, I know how to do it in just a couple of minutes. But anyways, I'm gonna make a separate video about the inlet pipes and the diverter valves, any difference or whatnot, so I'll make a video impression on that soon. But in the meantime, I hope this video was somewhat helpful if you are installing something like that. Just be sure to follow the directions and make sure you don't miss any parts when you install the stuff back, because you're going to be wasting a lot of time like I did. But you know what? I love wrenching, so that's totally fine. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Also, every tool and product used in the video, I am linking down in the description of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Literally 10 minutes later, we're back.